here I am with Doc, and he's with one of the owners of a Hot Rod Harley-Davidson. Is that correct, Doc?
That's great, yeah.
You're one of the guys that helped bring it in town.
I'm guilty.
You're guilty.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
And the other owner is Clyde Whitehouse, right?
Right.
And you guys go way back?
We go way back. He does the work, and I try to take the credit.
There we go.
It's a great partnership.
Well, I noticed that he's sitting in the office, and we're here with your little piece of equipment here.
Right, yeah. As it should be.
As it should be, you're right.
No,
right. And you're also a practicing doctor, so you have a little limited time once in a while to be playing with the motorcycles.
Well, it's my weekend, R&R. So.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about the history of Hot Rod Harley-Davidson moving in downtown Muskegon and what it has to do with bike time.
Well, Harley-Davidson has a rich history with West Michigan and the manufacturing. Of course, with Milwaukee right across the lake from Muskegon, and so this has been a biking community going back to the early 1900s. Harley started in 1903. So for 100 years or more, there's been a good connection. Now the ferry makes it even more so. And the dealership, when we bought it about 9 years ago, was downtown, has been downtown since the early 30s. We have the hill climb here in Muskegon, again, going back to the 1930s. And
that's one of the oldest national events for cycling, isn't it?
You're right. I believe it's the oldest, certainly related to hill climbing, and it is part of the championship for the national ranking. So it has a rich history. We wanted to keep the store downtown, and that isn't what they're doing. They're moving them out to malls and freeway views. But right or wrong, we thought, no, let's stay down where it's been for 70, 80 years, and that's what we did. But to do that, we wanted to create a gathering, a bike time, we called it, rather than a bike week, where the fellowship would meet every once in a while, like a family reunion would in the summer. It's not about fancy places. It's just getting together with the people that you like, who have a like mind, and that's what. So we asked the city whether, if we did stay downtown, whether that would be an obstacle or something that they would embrace. Because you can put signs up that says "Welcome Bikers," but unless your behavior fits that, it doesn't work. They can see through it very quickly that you don't mean it. You just want them to buy something, and you have to have that friendly, welcoming, "You're okay, I'm okay" attitude. And anyway, the city, and particularly at the time, Mayor Warmington embraced that.
And in the beginning, there was a lot of apprehension because everybody was looking at the stereotype of the rowdiness, because that's always used to make the news. And this thing has been so super family friendly.
Yeah. If you'll walk around, and I know you have, we have children and on shoulders and in strollers.
And old guys like me.
Yeah, right. So it's really a family affair, and it's an outing for family.
You took a survey last year, just kind of a off-the-cuff survey, or had somebody do it, just to find out how people thought about this, both bicyclists and non-motorcyclists, right?
Right. I think they loved it. We saw license plates from 23 different states. We had all walks of life, and they loved it, and they loved the whole event. And there was I talked with the police. There were no incidences. They're the cleanest group. They're picking up their trash. You don't see trash all over. And so it was a positive, and I think the city has come to embrace that.
Now we're looking at, I understand, about 30,000 motorcycles?
Well, last year I think more than that. Last year we believe we had 60,000 motorcycles with 100,000 people. The first year we actually had 30,000.
I just had to ask a dumb question. How do you count them? You count the wheels and divide by 2?
Well, they have we had a marketing team, but they take aerial views and they take snapshots. They count the people in one snapshot, and then they count the number of blocks. There's actually a science behind that. Yeah, and it wasn't just pulled out of our hair.
But I understand also that it's a great economic impact on our community. I heard a few $1 million coming in.
Yeah, the national figures for a group that comes, this started Thursday night. If they're here for Thursday nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for rooming and board and hotel and restaurant and purchases and whatnot, it's estimated that they spend about a minimum $250 for the weekend. So if you had 100,000 people here, you're talking $25 million to the economy in the greater Muskegon area, and so that is obviously significant. And the other statistic we got from our marketing group last summer is about half the people are from out of the area. So you're not just recycling your own money, you're bringing in new money, tourism, to a badly needed economy.
But another thing too, I understand that some of these liquor licenses are in the name of nonprofits in the Muskegon area. So that money goes to them to help their programs and projects.
Right.
You got Red Cross?
We got Red Cross, and we have a number of others. You're right. We've tried to involve the local people in many of the jobs that we need doing. We'll go to the Red Cross. They'll get their volunteers to do it, and then we'll pay the Red Cross above giving them the revenues on many of these tents. So it's a true community effort.
Well, and it's put Muskegon on the map now for 7 years in a row, hasn't it?
Well, I tell a story, I think, about, I grew up in Detroit, but I don't believe we could have won World War II without cities like Muskegon. When they bombed us out of the blue, cities like Muskegon and other great ones, Flint, Lansing, Toledo, South Bend, turned into factories overnight. And they put out a war effort that I think they wish they hadn't bombed us, because immediately all of these factories and the factories in Muskegon were a model of all of that. So Muskegon has really a rich history, you know, going back as a powerhouse of manufacturing in the 40s. They, like many others, have to find their new way in a new area where manufacturing isn't as important an industry in America.
And tourism is one of it, and it's a great example today. We haven't had anybody stop walking around riding cycles. It's just everybody and their brother and sons and fathers and mothers out here, including all the kids.
Right. No, I think it's a great event, and I want to, on public, and I do it every chance I get, thank the police. I think the police have the toughest job in America, always in risk positions, and they have created a very collegial, warm atmosphere, not a confrontational atmosphere. People rev the engines a little bit, and yes, there's some naughty noise and whatnot, but they have been tolerant of it, and they've kept more than law and order. They've kept an attitude of meaning the word that bikers are welcome, and that's really goes a long way to making an event like this successful.
Oh man, it's great what you guys are doing, and you're going to keep it up for the rest of your life, and probably even past that, right?
We always have a feeling that we want to be number one. Sturgis has got 500,000. We're only at about 125, but we've got them in our crosshairs. You see?
Yeah, there we go. Right. There we go. Appreciate it very much, Doc. Right. Taking time out of your busy life to do this and have fun with it too. And West Michigan appreciates what you're doing out here, Doc. We hope you keep it up for the rest of your life and have everybody coming down to Muskegon and seeing this great attitude and program and project you got going on over here.
Well, we thank you. We thank you for the comments. We want them all to come over to all of West Michigan, and let's make it the #1 tourist spot in the United States.
And more bikes than Sturgis.
Yes, that's #1.
Okay.
All right.
We don't have buffalo chips here, so we have the calm blue waters to enjoy. Yeah. I'm sure half these people have been jumping in the lake after a hot day like today.
Well, we're sitting on what, 65–80% of the fresh water in America.
Yes, we are. So thank you very much, Hot Rod Harley and Doc. Appreciate your time and efforts that went in to make this happen.
Thank you.